beams work? Yes, sir. High beams work. Let's see if the front lights work. Oh, that's really nice. You guys think it's like a joke, but you know how hard it is sometimes to find lights that properly work? And this is how we like to roll around, us Mustang guys. Back in the day, we usually kept those lit up. Let's see what's going on back here. Okay, just make sure the signal lights work. Okay. Yes, sir. The other side. Oh, that one's a little quick. That means one of them is out. No, it's working properly. Weird how they're different speeds. Yeah, okay, cool. Forget this thing does not have power steering. As long as you're rolling, it's okay, but man. This is where a GoPro on my head would come really handy. Oh, definitely needs an alignment. It's going to the left quite a bit. Alright, not terrible. Let me get to the car wash. Alright, definitely needs some kind of, I don't know, balance. It's pretty shaky. You let go and it goes to the left a little bit, but it might have been sitting a long time on these tires. But generally it's pretty good. I haven't gotten on it because I'm not sure I should. You know, I can't tell if it makes 400 something torque in real life, but it's very retro feeling, obviously. It feels okay. Doesn't feel amazing. Again, it's 400, supposedly 400 horsepower, so we'll see if it's actually 400 once I get it on the dyno. Okay, it smells like it's burning oil. So what I'm definitely not planning on doing is getting the engine bay wet. I learned my lesson a long time ago to definitely not get a Fox body wet in the engine bay, especially with all those exposed wires on the MSD. I'm trying to get my best to capture me just hitting the underside where the steering rack is and get all the oil out of there and then just get it back home. The white notchback. So obviously you guys saw the car needed some help with leaks and it needed some filters, so I got myself this black Ford Racing carburetor cover, and it I believe has a filter, so I want to make sure I open it up and that a filter is in there. I believe this is the door lock actuator that is stuck, not allowing me to lock the driver's side. And finally, I'm trying not to show my address. And finally, I think these are the valve covers. So I got everything in one shot. I didn't want to just kind of like piecemeal everything. So these are the Ford Racing breathers, and got two of those, obviously. What's this guy? Oh, this is the hardware kit. Very nice. You know, I almost wished it was black because everything's going to be black under the hood, but beggars can't be choosers. Gasket kit and the valve covers. Now these are the slightly angled valve covers that you see mostly on LMR and stuff like that. But I don't know, I wanted something on the darker side. I spent good money on these because I think this car is going to be one of these cars that just kind of looks good and make good power. I'm not looking to race it competitively. If it runs 10s NA, I'd be ecstatic. But I want it to look good because, you know, now that I'm a little older and I can actually afford to get nice stuff, might as well get this notch looking really good with the latest stuff. So let me get it out of the packaging before I scratch it up by taking it off all with one hand. Looks good. It still cracked me up that this stuff is made in Taiwan. It just, I don't know, it's one of those things that kind of gets to you after a little while where you're just like, is anything made in the US anymore? Not really. So interesting. How is this going to work? How is that going to work? Do I need to get a taller? Yeah, how the hell is that going to work, Alex? I might have to get a longer bolt to accommodate that. Interesting how that wasn't really... Oh! Ta-da! At least they thought of that. Very good. So, okay, this is what the valve covers look like. I'll take the air cleaner assembly apart now and show you that. Okay. So, the breathers were also made in Taiwan, which, again, I'm not surprised anymore. But let's see where this goes. Wow, look at that. Come with the filter and everything. Let me take this guy off. Oh, no. It's separate bubble wrap. Okay. That's that. Oh, I got to pick this guy up. And, okay, that. So, basically, this is what it's going to look like under the hood. I really like how that looks. It comes with a nice little stud because most of the air breathers you see has a hole here, but the actual lid is threaded. So basically what you'll be doing is threading it into the carb and basically threading that on. So basically this is what it's going to look like on the car. Everything is made in Taiwan apparently. Again, no big deal. But this probably run me, I'd say probably close to 500 bucks. I also have the door lock actuator, but that was like only 24 bucks. But I believe the breather assembly alone was over 250, and the valve covers were in a similar price after taxes and everything. This is 500 bucks. So it's still not cheap, but I just wanted to change up the look, clean it up, and fix the leaks. And let's go put it on the car real quick. Alrighty, good morning guys and girls. If there's a girl that actually watches this channel, today we're gonna go ahead and get this Fox, the dyno. So I'm trying to do a bunch of things at the same time, trying to film, trying to time lapse, trying to do everything, get it up on the trailer. That's right, Jake was nice enough to let me borrow the trailer. I had to get the tires filled up. That's why the hood is up with a little mobile air pump. So I'm gonna get this notch up to the dyno, the PBH's dyno, and we're gonna go ahead and dial it in, or at least baseline it. Like the whole goal with the car is to baseline the car to see what it makes currently. At the park, I'm trying to do this so you can get a good camera angle. If you guys are wondering why I'm thumping around, there's $50 worth of fuel right here. 10 bucks a gallon up in Port St. Lucie area, or Stewart. So basically race gas. Gonna like the 260. I guarantee this thing's gonna idle better and do everything better. Alright. Now to set up the shot, because I'm trying to set up a time lapse. Hey, all right. Man's still here. Very nice. So, one of the first things I'm going to do before I load the car is see if I can tighten this drum. The drum without air should not be turning. So, I'm going to get underneath, see if there's some kind of nut to tighten everything, because that'll make loading the car a lot easier, and I won't have to ratchet the car up on the road. Forgive the wind noise, guys, but I'm going to have to use the GoPro for a bit while the other guy charges. So I went to Harbor Freight, and I ended up getting just one of their 120 130 piece kits. Why? Because I was really tired of bringing down my tools, undoing them, then having to redo them. So I'd rather just have a set of tools for the garage and a set of tools for, if you want to call it the road. Not really the road. Again, not the highest quality stuff, but it'll do the job. This is a carbureted Fox. It's not really needing snap-on stuff to do the job properly, but not terrible. Like, I mean, that's a glowing review, right? Not terrible of Harbor Freight stuff, but look, it's going to get the job done for what I need it for. It's got everything I need, really. It's even got a hammer, and you know, Fox bodies, sometimes you need to hammer shit really chintzy wrenches. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play with the dyno, brake, see if I can get that adjusted and get it nice and tight so that the roller doesn't have an issue. There's the breather, there's the valve covers. I'll show you all that shortly. Okay, so the way this works is the following. This is the controller. You guys have seen guys use this. So this only starts and stops the sampling on the dyno software. This is a mechanical actuation of the brake. So, okay, so that releases the brake that actuates the brake. So, okay, if you look at the pad, back there, you see the pad? Okay, so I took up all the way on that nut. Nothing happened. It got slightly better, but I think these pads are way beyond shot. So that's enough of that. Let's get the car on the dyno. We're just gonna have to slow it down with the brakes eventually. Hopefully, you know, I don't catch the brakes on fire trying to stop the dyno, but I think this thing needs new pads, but at least I gave it a shot to try and adjust it. Unfortunately, have to do what I don't like to do, which means bring it in with the ratchet. But the car's so small, it's not terrible to work with. So I'll see how that goes. Man, I really don't want to do that, but only because it wads up the straps and it stretches them out, and it's not meant to do that. But I'll see what I can do. I'll do my best, because working alone, gotta figure shit out. Gotta figure shit out. Gotta get more comfortable. Apparently I have short legs. Alright, so I put it in first and lock it in gear so the wheels don't move. And I'll bring it up with the ratchet straps. Let me set up the camera a little better. So this is what a lot of you guys wanted me to do that I didn't want to do, but I'll show you. There's no real reason. This is personal preference, honestly. But it's basically just using the ratchets to load the car on the roller. So I'm trying to get the best shot possible. Yeah, there you go. That's gonna fall over. There you go. You know, I hope no one comes here, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to talk to nobody. Just leave me the fuck alone, man. Seriously, forever. People want to chit chat and stuff. I hate chit chatting. Oh my God. This is why you want to do it. It's not a cheat code, it's dumb. But people do it this way. Oh baby, can't you see? I want to feel the point of no return. I want to take you in my arms. I'm taking me to the point of no return. To the point. Alright, so that's why. Yeah, it might work fine. I just don't like to do it that way, that's all. So, chalked up. There's a part of me. Oh baby, can't you see? I want to feel the passion to the point of no return. Oh baby. Alright, let's get her fully strapped down. Alrighty, she's up. Finally. They're not wanting to start. Trying to adjust the dyno, brake, all that nonsense. Got it up there. Now, let's go ahead and get these guys replaced. Get these guys out of here. Get those guys in there. See how it looks? Give it a rip. Check the timing with this pretty awful Harbor Freight timing light. I'm going to set it to 0 because it has like a dial. It's a little too snazzy. I just want to set it to 0. See where the timing is at. Hopefully it's not too off, because some of these are super sketch and you can be off by quite a bit. I just want a regular timing light that picks it up off of the #1 pulse, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, got the driver's side valve cover off. Nothing out of the ordinary. Looks like one of the rockers was clearancing itself, or was clearanced. Yeah, it's sharp, so it still has burrs in it, so it was clearancing itself. This thing needs an oil change, but I'll do the oil change after the dyno. Honestly, I'm not looking to get after it too hardcore today, because I could literally be here for 12 hours working on this car, so I'm not looking to do that. Looking to just get a dyno number, excuse me, seal up some of the leaks and get after it. Okay, no time lapse stuff. Just gonna, next thing you're gonna see, both valve covers off, then the new valve covers and breather on the carburetor. One side, much better. You know what I started thinking? I'm like, why am I putting really nice valve covers on if the intake looks like fucking trash? Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can clean that up without having to take it off. I'm sure there's some solutions, but I also don't want to damage the valve covers. But the other thing I thought of, like, I hope, because the other rockers are clearancing themselves on those valve covers, I'm hoping that I don't have that issue. So I might hear some clacking and clunking when I start it, and that'll tell me if the rockers are self-clearancing inside of the valve cover. Okay, before I put the carburetor hat on, I'm gonna turn it on to see if the valve covers are doing any clicking and clacking, and if they are, what do I do about it? Let's see. Starts good. That was quiet. Let's take a look. Very nice. I don't hear any weird clacking. Okay, let's put the breather on. Man, I can't wait to get everything blacked out and get rid of all this red and blue crap. So hopefully you see what I'm aiming for. You know what I mean? It's gonna be black wires, black cap, like blacked out, maybe some satin, but mostly darked out, because that's modern. Modern stuff tends to be dark. So clean up the wiring, get some black wires, same wire. I really like the way they're laid out. That's really nice. Get a dark or gray cap on that guy. clean the block, do a whole bunch of things. Okay, so look, that's what I was going for. So I'm really, really happy how it turned out. Like, it's probably gonna run you over 500 bucks to get this on your car. So it's not cheap, but it's what I wanted, and it's exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Okay, now I'm gonna get underneath and look at the balancer, because I gotta see what kind of timing this guy is seeing. Then we'll finally make a pull. The more you look at it, the more funny it gets. So it has a dual hump oil pan, but look at the front. So definitely needs to get this guy out of here. I'm gonna remove the sway bar, probably not today because I don't have the tools here, I don't think. So I'm gonna, you know, take it off when I get home. So yeah, that's gonna get removed. And all this oil looks like it was coming from either the is it wet by the cylinder head? Let me see. Yeah, so it's either the oil pan gasket needs replaced, which isn't a huge deal. I've done these before. Just have to get the motor up in the air and you know, do a good job. Maybe replace the oil pan with something else, but that could be a whole nother, you know, thing that I don't want to get into. But the, you know, the K member and everything is definitely gonna have to get looked at. Look, it's got Eibach. So it's got Eibach front. So are these, wait, is this Eibach or Edelbrock? What the fuck does that say? Let me see. What the freaking hell is that? No, these are, I don't know who these are. Guys, maybe you guys can tell me what these are, but I don't know if these are drag front springs or what. An extra harness there, don't know what for. Okay, so radiator looks okay. A little rusty here, not terrible though, not the worst I've seen. So definitely needs, yeah, definitely needs some kind of attention here eventually, but not bad on this side. So probably have some media blast get in there and you know, get all that stuff out of there, POR it, or take the motor out and do it the right way. Honestly, that, again, that could be like a winter project. Take the motor out, smooth the complete engine bay down, and go from there. Headers look okay. I got some new ones coming. X pipe, H pipe. Okay, beautiful. So there you go. So hopefully get a better look at what's going on. So the balancer is a little weird. I gotta see what all is going on. I'm gonna take some emery cloth or some sandpaper, whatever I got nearby, sand it down. Is that where I checked the timing mark? What the fuck? Let me go look at it from the top. Sheesh. Chicharrones. Look at that. All right, so shoot. Let me get it running and see what the timing mark says. See if there's anything there. It's got a aftermarket pulleys, looks like. No, it's got stock pulleys, so it can definitely get a lot of that stuff get removed. Okay, I'll see what kind of timing mark I'm looking at here. This doesn't really look like it's put together right. I don't even know what kind of balancer that is, but let me shove the timing light in there, see if I can see anything. Bro, if this thing works, I'd be absolutely blown away. So, well, let me get this all the way to 0, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know. It's probably not even close, like not even close. Okay, this guy goes on number 1, which is over here. All right, let's see if that thing works. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but the timing light doesn't work. It doesn't. Gave it power from that, gave it power from that, nothing. Not working at all. So, I'm just gonna wing it. You know, old school shit, but obviously without a timing light, I won't know exactly where timing is. I know in order to advance it, I go a little bit that way, I think, and I really don't want to mess with it, but let's just see where we're at. Do a baseline, let's get the fan going to get the radiator happy, and we'll see what it makes currently on Sunoco fuel, really, because that's what's in it. Okay, it's got a radiator leak right there. Got a little something going on. So I got a radiator leak and an oil leak back there, so I can see exactly where it's coming from. So that's good. Alright, so it's got a radiator leak somewhere in there. That's okay. Wasn't a big fan of the massive radiator anyway. I liked a regular guy, but alright, let's get inside. Okay, it's got a fuel leak there. So before I make any pull, I'm gonna tighten the fittings, but to me it's coming from this guy. So if I tighten it too much, it might make it worse. I'll probably just throw a rag in there for now. Alrighty, got it configured properly, showing proper RPM, little higher, a little higher. Beautiful. Okay, so my job is done in terms of configuring the dyno. Double check the straps. Make a pull to 7,000. See what it makes. What the hell? Let's see. Go ahead and make a pull. I need an oil change. Smoky out here. What's going on? Looks like something's going on over here. Oh, the brakes. Yeah, trying to slow the dyno down. The brakes got hot. No problem. I'll probably just engine brake it next time. Everything look good up here. Still leaking a little gas. All right. Okay, so it definitely hit a limiter. So I'm gonna have to look at this guy over here, see what's going on. But what do you guys think it made? Let's take some guesses. What do you guys think she made? Whew. Kind of exciting. I didn't know where the limiter was. I just stayed in it until about $6,000 and it was still going up. What do you guys think it made based on the sound, based on everything? I'm happy, let's just say that, because the numbers were what we thought they were. And I was very happy about that. But I definitely gotta look into the brake situation, because the dyno brake is just gonna have to roll forever until it slows down. I can't use these small brakes to slow the dyno down. The GT, completely different story. Read them and weep. 460 rear wheel horsepower, 476 pound-feet of torque. Smooth graph. What did peak torque? Peak torque was at, guys, it makes almost as much torque as some Vortec Coyote cars, okay? At 4,270 RPM, it made 476 pound-feet of torque, which is super fun. Right around there, it makes 410 wheel when it crosses, but look, it keeps going up. And right at 5,500 or 6,000 RPMs, it hit some kind of limiter. So I'm gonna go look at the MSD over there, because it has a bunch of shit to adjust. Like, it's got 500 knobs on knobs on knobs, and I'd like to see what the deal is, because I might be able to extend the RPM range to about 6,500 or, nah, I don't know about 7,000. I don't think I want to rev this to 7,000 that much, but let's take a look at that MSD and see what the deal is. Okay, so as you can see on the MSD, what is it, Digital 6, there's a bunch of rev limit, two-step, and retards. Hey, yo, right here, rev limit max, look at the arrow, 6,500. So we're gonna move that to 7,500, and I'm gonna let off at, actually, let's do it at 7,000. Let's be smart, because it seemed to hit way earlier than that, because it seemed to hit like 5,500 according to the graph, which doesn't make sense, because if there's a two-step situation, this one is all zeroed out for the step retard. What is that? 4-cylinder? Yeah, 8-cylinder. Thank God. 2 to 8 cylinder. 2 to 8. 2 is 8-cylinder. 0 is 4-cylinder. 3. Okay, so it's set to 2. Good. So the step retard is at 0 and 0. Good. The RPM two-step rev limit is 33,000. So the this have a rev limiter with a clutch activation? I'll have to try that out, but I'm gonna move that guy to 7,000 and see if it revs past 7,000 nicely. Okay, I'm gonna test if this thing has like some kind of two-step. Okay, so clutch in. I'm gonna rev it to 3,000, see if it hits some kind of rev limiter. Nope, definitely not. So let's see, free revving. Man, I really don't want to hit 6,000 free revving. I'm definitely not going to do that. So let me move that rev limiter to 7,000 and zero all the others and try this again, because according to the graph, it rolled off pretty hardcore, but look at when it did it. It did it at 6,000, call it 5,800, which I don't know, maybe the cam is like petering out there, but with a Victor Jr. and, you know, a decent sized carburetor. Again, I don't have air fuel data, which sucks. It really sucks. But let me see if move the rev limiter up allows me to rev past, you know, that RPM. Okay, test number 2. I removed the carburetor hat. I moved the rev limiter up on the MSD, and I'm gonna make a poll to see if it makes any power. I'm gonna do 2 tests at once. See if I can rev it past 6,000 RPMs and see if it makes any more power with the carburetor hat removed. This thing's chintzy, but we'll see how it goes. With the carb hat removed, it made 462 horsepower at 5,600 RPM. So I was able to get it at 6,500 RPM. Something tells me that MSD is not, the dials aren't right, because I brought it to 7,000 and it locked me out at 6,500, as you can see here. So what I'm going to do is bump it up to 7,500. Now, I don't think there's any more power to be had. You know what I mean? Like, it gained, see, I was able to extend out the RPM range, obviously. So if I was in the middle of a race and the limiter cut off at 6,000, hey, that 500 RPM might edge me, you know, I can edge them out. And this is all part of the dumb little tuning that you do by hand. There is no computer tuning here. You just kind of have to be intuitive about it and see what the deal is. And sometimes old mechanical equipment and old MSDs just don't jive and do what you want them to do. But we're able to get a little more power, and look, we're making gains if you want to do that. But across the board, like if you want to do like comparatively, it's 1 horse. It's within you know, 5 horse or so. So it's not gains, and it didn't make any more with the filter removed. So we can at least debunk that. So now what's left is some timing. Fuel, I'm not going to mess with today because I don't have a wideband. For those of you that asked about the exhaust stuff, or remember the exhaust probe that's on the deal? I don't know. I still don't know what it is. I don't know what that represents. Hundreds, 2 degrees. I don't get it. So what I'm going to do is bump the timing just a hair. Just a white girl's contour. Not Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are, you know, they got thick hair. So like a white girl's contour, like a blonde girl, you know, peach fuzz. I'm going to do that, bump it just a hair, and look at the graph. And if it's going the wrong way, go back. But I'm going to mark where I'm at right now so I can go back to it in case I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so I blindly added timing. Basically, I loosened this screw and spun it clockwise ever so slightly, gently tapping it just here, just a couple taps. I made a little reference mark there that isn't the most accurate thing on the planet, but it lets me know where I was versus where I am. So I spun it clockwise ever so slightly. Let's see if anything changes on the graph. So I raised timing to God knows what. Nothing crazy. Well, I don't know, but we'll see if the car likes it or doesn't like it. The graph will tell the story. Tuner. Hack. Tonight. Maybe start to need to. or lost. 460, 462, 460, 476, 477, 471. So I lost a little torque. Let's see what it did. So the latest run is, wait, when's the latest run? First run, 1022. Okay, first one was red, second run was blue, last run was green. So green was down here at high RPM, see? It's down about 6 horse, so the timing didn't help it. So I'm gonna bump it back down to where it was and leave it alone. Because at this point, I can't keep dragging the car out that I have no idea what's happening with air fuel. So it might wanna be leaned out, it might not, but from what I can tell, it seems to be pretty darn happy. It starts to fall off here above 6,000 RPMs. So the cam definitely doesn't like being spun up past that. Now that might need some reconfiguring of the camshaft potentially based on the manifold. It might need a setup where it gets matched properly, but it seems to be peaky at about 6,000 RPMs. Let's go 458. All right, so it seems to be peaky right at about 5,600 or so RPMs. So either the car is gonna like a lot less jet, so I'm gonna have to check out the air fuel ratio, which means I'm gonna have to put a wideband on it and maybe do some street tuning before I bring it back onto the dyno. But I wanted to get on the dyno and verify the numbers. The first run was 460, 476. Second run was 462, 477. Same tune, same exact thing. Third run, 460 again, 471. So I lost some torque, so I'm gonna bump the timing back down to where it was on the first 2 runs. Now we know we can rev it to 6,500 RPMs. So at least with that, we got a lot of stuff figured out on the car. So let's wrap this video up Okay, so let's wrap it up. Bought the car from Parts Farm. Was advertised at 457 rear wheel horsepower, according to their dyno. I bought it sight unseen because I thought it was worth it. I've always wanted to get into a small block Ford. A lot of you guys that see the Fairmont content, you've heard me talk about getting into a small block Ford. Why? Because I think this is going to be the future of my hobby. The Coyote game, I think I've come to the end of new stuff as on a personal hobby situation, but as a business, I'm sure we'll continue to support the newest stuff out there. But as a personal hobby, that's where I end it at 2020. I have plenty of cars that are fast and a ZR1, and I'm really happy with what I got. And I wanted to get back into the small block Ford thing, end of things, because number one, when I was into small block Fords and notchbacks and Fox bodies in general, I was a young guy. I didn't have any money. Now that things are a little better and I'm a little more comfortable and more knowledgeable, I'd like to get back into that, and this thing was perfect. It was already done, exactly what I wanted. 351 based small block, makes 460 wheel with 2 Sunoco 260, but supposedly it made it on pump gas, but it's going to run on race gas or some kind of high octane fuel always. The goals for the car are to have a clean street strip car. That's it. So that's it. I mean, I'm not gonna put a slipper clutch in this thing. I'm not a competitive drag racer with a nice notch like this. If I'm gonna go racing, it'll be in the Fairmont, period. So this thing is gonna be a nice street strip car, period, correct. I'm not gonna modernize the crap out of it. I'm not gonna Coyote swap it ever, 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 ever. It's gonna stay small block Ford based or push rod based for the rest of its life, or as long as I have it. So did the verification, got it on the dyno, did a bunch of testing, a bunch of things happened today. This is on hour 8 that I've been playing around with the car today, just to make 3 pulls on the dyno after replacing the valve covers, the air filter, and all that stuff. Okay, we're gonna end it there. I got a line on some Bogart D10s, thanks to a couple of guys in the West Coast. Thank you very much. I found out these are supposedly the Shelby style torque thrust wheel. I don't know if that makes it more valuable or not, but I'll keep them for now unless someone really wants to take them off my hands and they can go. But I hope you guys enjoyed this long form style video that gives you kind of like a behind the scenes sneak peek at what I do to get you guys some content. So I'm out of here. Stay in touch, keep in touch. We're gonna have a lot more on this stuff. I'm gonna talk to Steve at Thunder, see if we can clean up the wiring, see if we can tune the carburetor, get a wideband on it, get back down here and do some actual fuel jetting on the dyno changes to see if it likes it or doesn't, and talk to some people that build small block Fords to see if we can get 500 rear wheel horsepower eventually out of this combo if possible. I'm not going to push the envelope too hard, but if we can do, for a cam change and carburetor away and some head work, I'm sure. From 500 wheel, I'm more than happy to do that, and hopefully you guys come along for the journey on this little notchback build. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Talk to you guys later.